All right, welcome everyone. It is our second episode of the weekly Snap Show. I am super excited. Today we have Binks Plays, Valentine, and Charlene. Thank you guys so much for joining me. We're going to have each one of them introduce themselves, and then after that, we'll do a mini game, a discussion, another mini game, go into some more discussion, and at the end, we're going to be rating those viewers submitted screenshots that you guys sent in. So we're looking forward to all of that. All right, so I guess let's get started. Binks Plays, if you would like to introduce yourself and then also share what your favorite Marvel movie is. You can go ahead.
Awesome. Thanks so much. Thanks for having us, Felicity. My name is Binks. I go by Binks Plays on all platforms. I make a lot of content for Marvel Snap. I've been doing it ever since the very beginning of beta. So this has been my favorite game, literally like pretty much all of last year since it came out, and been completely addicted. I love building new, different decks, trying to do things that are a little bit off meta. My favorite MCU movie, I guess we'll go with the show because I think that WandaVision is by far my favorite like product the MCU has put out. It was kind of the first big one since everything finished up with Infinity War, and just the acting and the I don't know, the emotions that go through that show were absolutely incredible.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Binks. Up next, we've got Valentine. If you'd like to introduce yourself and share your favorite Marvel movie.
Yeah, so my name is Valentine. I'm a relatively new streamer. I actually got started streaming with Marvel Snap. Did not do any of that beforehand, and now I stream 5 days a week on Twitch. I just started doing YouTube shorts and stuff. I don't know. This is all still very new to me, so but it's a lot of fun. And favorite Marvel movies probably from the day I've seen it, Spider-Man 2, Raimi's Spider-Man 2, and now that it is like MCU canon, I feel like I love it even more, honestly. So, yeah.
Awesome. Thanks, Valentine. And lastly, we have Charlene from Second Dinner. Go ahead, Charlene.
Hey everyone, my name's Charlene Pfeiffer. I'm a product manager over at Second Dinner. The stuff that I do, like as a product manager, is I work on the seasonal content. So like the types of rewards you're getting in your season pass, the types of rewards you get from your ranked rewards. Those are the types of things that I work on. But yeah, and I think as far as my favorite Marvel movie, I think I'd probably just go with like the first one, or I'll say the first Marvel or first MCU movie would be Iron Man. Like just kind of also kind of going back to like my roots also like as an engineer prior to joining Second Dinner too. So Iron Man, the one that kind of started it all, I think that's my favorite.
Awesome. Thanks for sharing that, guys. And thank you all so much for being here. I'm super excited to start getting into the mini games and the discussions. So our first one is called Left or Right. The names are kind of stupid, but you'll see when I pull this up. Or actually, you don't need to look at my screen. I just need to share it on Twitch. Sorry, 1 second. Okay, so this first game is left or right. So what I'm going to do is I will ask a question and you're gonna answer if it is towards the left or right side of the card itself.
Right? Okay.
It's pretty easy once you see the first one. But we're gonna go to each one of you and you'll each answer. But don't copy each other just because you think they're right. Just think about what it is in your head, and then we'll tally up the scores at the end. But maybe you guys know all of these because you're just that good. So let's see. The first one is Star-Lord is looking towards the left or right side of the card. All right, so we'll start with Binks.
Left.
All right, and Valentine?
Left.
Charlene?
Left.
Cheaters.
Okay, and left is correct. Maybe you guys will get all of these.
It's hard to not think of variants. Oh,
Oh yeah,
So
sorry.
true.
These are all the base cards.
I was thinking this might be like card cost and power. That'd be so hard.
All right. So maybe actually, yeah, you guys might get all of these. For me, I couldn't, but okay, let's see. Next, Gamora is looking towards the left or right side of the card. So we'll go with Valentine first this time.
Think right.
All right, Charlene.
I'm going with left.
Okay, Binks.
Right.
All right, and the correct answer is left.
Ooh.
Wow.
Oh, yeah. No, now that I see it.
I know, in your head, because like TC was kind of quizzing me as well to just see which ones we could use, and there were a lot that I couldn't get, so it's harder than it seems.
It can be tricky because of the avatars, like also kind of like change the
Oh.
orientation as well. So it depends on like how often or how familiar you are with that. So yeah, it can still be tricky.
Yeah,
It's tough.
definitely. All right, next, Odin is holding a spear on the left or right side of the card. So Charlene, we're gonna start with you this time.
Right.
Okay, Binks.
Right.
Okay, and Valentine.
Say left.
All right, the correct answer is left. Nice. I think only Valentine got that one.
Nice.
Nicely done. Okay, the next one is Rhino is facing towards the left or right side of the card.
Literally never put that card in my deck.
Not at base, not the base card. No, only a variant. Oh no.
We're gonna start with Binks this time.
Right.
Okay, Valentine.
I'm gonna also say right.
All right, Charlene.
I'm gonna also say right. I have a 50-50 chance here.
And you guys are all correct. Nice.
Oh.
Nice.
Okay, the next one. Bucky Barnes is aiming his gun on the left or right side of the card. Basically holding his, I guess like holding his gun, right?
Which shark since it's pointing?
Yeah. Pointing and holding. Okay, I think we start with Valentine this time.
Left.
Okay, and Charlene
Left.
and Binks.
Left.
Okay, nice. Good job, guys. All right, the next one is Leech is holding out his hand on the left or right side of the card. Okay, Charlene
Left.
and Binks.
Left.
Valentine.
Left.
Okay.
This one is burned into my mind.
Yeah,
This
seriously.
one is
Yeah,
burned
it's
into my
like a
mind.
traumatizing one.
Staring into the screen, shaking my head.
All right, this next one is Moon Girl is running to the left or to the right side of the card.
Running to?
Yes. Like running
Doing the same thing in my head,
towards
Binks.
which side? Running towards which side of the card? Does it start with Binks?
I think so.
Okay.
Left.
Okay, Valentine
Also gonna say left.
and Charlene.
I'm gonna say right, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'm really not sure about this one.
Okay, and Charlene, you are correct. Right.
Yeah.
Nice job.
She's so fast.
Okay, Green Goblin is looking towards the left or right side of the card. I think we're starting with Valentine this time.
Chat's never gonna let me live this down if I get this wrong. Left.
All right, Charlene.
I'm trying to really picture this guy. The goblins are like. I'm gonna go left too.
Okay, Binks.
I think it's right.
All right, the correct answer is left. All right, I think we have 3 more? No, 4 more. Okay, Cable is looking at the gun on the left or the gun on the right side of the card. Charlene.
Right.
All right. Binks.
Left.
Okay, Valentine.
Right.
The correct answer is right. All right, a few more. The hood is shooting towards the left or right side of the card. Binks, you can start.
Left.
Okay, Valentine.
Right.
Okay, and Charlene.
I'm trying to remember this card. The hood.
Mm-hmm.
I'll go left.
And the correct answer is right.
Ooh.
Nice. Okay, two more. Wasp is looking towards the left or right side of the card. Valentine.
Right.
All right, Charlene.
Right.
Okay, and Binks.
Left.
And you are correct. It's left.
Oh.
All right, the last one we have is Cosmo is looking towards the left or right side of the card. Charlene.
Trying to remember the base art because I used a variant.
Which variant?
I'm forgetting the name of it, but it's like a super cartoony, like Disney-ish type of one. But I'm gonna say right. Maybe. Let's go with right.
All right, Binks.
Left.
All right, and Valentine.
Whatever lane I play Galactus in. Sorry, right.
All right, the correct answer is left.
Oh.
All right.
Oh, yeah.
Thanks with the comeback.
Yeah, I might have gotten it kind of close at the end there, but I was really far behind for a second.
Yeah, well, let's see. I don't know if we have the point totals yet. I think TC's been taking the points down. He's probably calculating it right now.
That's right. And it's Charlene is our winner with 8 points.
Ooh.
Oh,
Congrats.
nice.
Well done.
Yay!
Are you able to share the other ones?
Yes, it's Binks with 6 and Valentine with 7.
Okay, nice. Oh, that was pretty close. That was
really close.
Yeah, good job, guys. All right, that concludes our game, left or right. It's actually really, really tricky, isn't it?
That's a lot harder than I expected.
Yeah, I mean, some of these cards I play with all the time, and I still get some of them wrong. So, all right.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm really bad with my left and rights in general. So like I honestly I feel like I was just flipping a coin every single time, which makes sense because I got 6 out of 12 right.
I was gonna say.
That's true. All right, we're gonna hop into some light discussion here. And I'm curious to know about how each of your experiences with Marvel Snap has been. Basically, you know, when you started, how it's been since then. What have you noticed? Maybe like how the community has grown, or whatever you want to talk about in your journey with Marvel Snap. We can start with Binks.
Yeah, so I mean, I started day one of beta. You know, I saw the announcement. I've played Hearthstone for a long time, and I'd actually been following a little bit about Ben Rhodes' journey when he was talking about Second Dinner. I remember the very first time that he announced that they had gotten a Marvel IP, and I wasn't really sure, you know, what to think about the game. And then Trump, a big person who actually kind of taught me Hearthstone, and I'm sure a lot of people who play Hearthstone were also taught by Trump through his like video series about how to play Hearthstone. He kind of had said some things about it and was really excited about it. So then, you know, I looked into the game, I signed into the beta, and the game just really grasped me right away. A few things that are really, really like amazing about the game for me is how quick it is. I've always noticed that games that take somewhere between 3 and 5 minutes are the ones that really, really catch me, and I'm super, super stoked on. So things like Rocket League, Pokemon Unite, which is 10-minute games, but in the MOBA space, it's very, very short. So things that are short, you know, you can kind of jump into another game, are always the things that I've liked most. And what I like most about these kind of quick games is that, you know, even if you lose a game, you can do it with a smile on your face, because it's not like you invested 40 minutes into this game. You know, sometimes you get into these huge, Hearthstone control mirrors, and it's just this big grind, and then you lose. But with Marvel Snap, sometimes you play something out, you get absolutely crushed, you can laugh it off, and then just queue into your next game. So the fact that it was really short was really amazing for me. The fact that the turns happen at the same time, I feel like adds a different level to the strategy than you're normally used to. It's kind of like a lot of card games are a call and response where, you kind of play your thing, you wait for your opponent to play their thing, so on and so on. But with Marvel Snap, being able to play things at the same time, it's just like a really, really dynamic game. And on top of being able to play at the same time, the three different lanes are always something that I really liked. People talk about how like some Marvel Snap decks feel like they're really straightforward or like brain dead is what they'll say, but I don't think any game or deck of Marvel Snap is brain dead. There's no way to play like a solitaire style deck where you're not really caring about what your opponent does. Every single turn you're making a choice of which lane to play in, and you have to dynamically change which lane you're going to play in based on what those actual locations say and what your opponent's doing in those lanes. So just the fact that there's like so much creativity and there's so much that you can do within just like the small tiny 3 minute like six turn game has just got me like so incredibly enthused to continue coming back every single day. The last thing that I would say about like kind of what has led me to really love Marvel Snap and continue playing is I've always liked building decks. I've always liked being a little bit different and doing off meta things. When I used to grind a Legend and Hearthstone, I would try and do it with an off meta deck every single time. So either something that I homebrewed, something that was just not really, on the tier list people weren't expecting. And Marvel Snap has really allowed me to express that creativity, and the community has like kind of given back to me by being really receptive of the deck list that I post. I post deck lists every single day on Twitter. I get a lot of engagement. People get really excited to play them. People give me their opinions on them, which is really, really cool. I get to highlight them through my streams and through YouTube every single day. And I feel like it's a really, really cool creative outlet for me. And just the way that the community has embraced that creativity that I'm bringing to the table is something that I've never really experienced in any other way. So, that's kind of my long-winded and kind of a take on why Marvel Snap has kind of encapsulated and made me fall in love with this game, and why I play it and why I do it so much.
I love that so much. I think you brought up a lot of really great points that I didn't realize that are things that I really enjoy about the game as well. So thank you for sharing that insight. I mean, one of the things is, how none of the decks are like brain dead decks because you have these locations that are always changing. And I think that's something that makes it very exciting because whatever deck you play, you have to strategize around that. And it's not just one, I guess, like build that you can just go to, whereas in other games you can do that. So yeah, thanks so much for sharing all of that.
Yeah, thank you.
And Valentine, how about you? How has your journey been?
So like I mentioned before, I was not really streaming before Snap came out. I want to say the week before the beta started, I randomly was sitting on Twitter and caught like an IGN post that linked to an announcement about it being an open beta. And so I signed up thinking like, yeah, I'd sign up for any beta that I can play in pretty much. Like I'm a junkie for trying out new games and being a guinea pig. And it's the best way for me to find out if I want to spend money on something. Just being like a huge video game geek in general. And honestly, for the last year and a half, you'll see these little boxes behind me over here. I'd spent a good amount of money on Marvel Champions, which is like a single player PvE deck building Marvel battler. And like having something on my phone with that Marvel property really enticed me. Got into the beta like 2 days later. Started it on the 24th of May last year, and was just like, I should stream this. I have all the things to stream. I should just do this. And spent the last 9 months playing this game 30 hours a week on stream. It has grabbed me in a way that like feels unhealthy sometimes, if I'm being honest. And like maybe has finally gotten to a point where it's like, I think I'm gonna at least stop playing off stream so that like I kind of cut back on it a little bit more. But like chasing cards is something that I absolutely love. And one of the big things that continued to drive me in Marvel Snap was while you were chasing cards, short of the 2 weeks that we had with Nexus events, we were never chasing the chance of cards so much as chasing just acquisitions, and like it's like getting to flip that card over in a way and see what you just pulled and get to just homebrew something. Like, this will never work in this deck, but I'm going to try it anyways for 45 minutes and see what happens. Like, I was just drawn to it so much, and like to this day I love making just stupid decks. Like, I just want to put the stupidest cards together. Doing a draft deck with 12 random cards with no synergy is some of the most fun I've ever had in a card game. And it shouldn't be, but like the randomness that the random 3 locations that this game develops, it's just wild. I can't believe that this works as well as it does for me. It's great.
Mm-hmm. No, absolutely. I love that as well. Whenever you just try different things in a deck, and when it works out, it's like the most amazing thing ever, because it feels like it shouldn't. So that's really awesome. And I can tell that you are extremely passionate about the game just from hearing you talk about it. But also, I think the first stream of yours that I actually really had a chance to watch was there was somebody one of my viewers, Akira Howard, was telling me about how you were opening up those the actual cards on stream. You have. Yeah, they're
These guys
amazing.
Yeah.
Whoever made them, you were opening up a bunch of those.
Those cards. Yeah, Oswald. Oswald, the shadow box cards. Yeah, if you just type shadow box snap cards into Etsy, it's the first thing you'll see. It's an Iceman on a Hearthstone thing. Yeah, definitely check those out.
They're beautiful. But yeah, that's really awesome. And I mean, we love having people like you in the community who just have so much passion for the game.
Thank you.
All right, and Charlene, how about you? How has your journey been with Marvel Snap, whether it's playing the game or as a product manager for Second Dinner?
Yeah, I think for me it actually kind of goes hand in hand. So at least my first time that I ended up being able to play Marvel Snap was actually through my interviews, like with joining Second Dinner. As part of the interview process, at least at the time, because Snap wasn't announced yet, I got to try out the game through it. And again, like kind of through that interview process, like when I first got to experience the game and try it out, it was interesting, unique, and like totally amazing too. And yeah, and so as I joined Second Dinner, and also to just kind of see like the evolution of that game from how it was from what I remember it to be a prototype at the time, to like seeing it go from soft launch to us as a team really focusing on making the right decisions as we were leading towards global launch. It's been just kind of really amazing from both like the developer front as well as on the player front too, because like we all also play Marvel Snap. We're like right there and with you guys in the community and playing the games right there with you. And yeah, like there's some months too when like sometimes I'll try and go and grind for infinite, and some months where I'm just like, you know what, I'm gonna play casuals and stuff. But yeah, it's been totally amazing.
That's awesome. I've always wondered that if you guys actually play the game a lot. So that's kind of cool to hear. Have you ever made it to Infinite?
Yeah, a couple times. My first time I played, which was during like our mini TCB, before we launched season 1 with Wave. I really tried to make it to Infinite. But I couldn't. I was like kind of stuck at like 80. But then I realized I realized like a key component to like me being able to like get to Infinite was being able to like understand the snap mechanic, which is something that I've never like experienced with any other game before. And like I can't play poker. Like I can't do any of that stuff. And so like I remember like for me like I'd be like super shy to like
Mm.
snap because I'd just be like really afraid. But now like I've just been able to kind of like level up in a way in terms of how I play the game, how to like snap like or knowing when to snap, knowing when to retreat are things I kind of also picked up too. And it's yeah. Yeah.
That's really interesting, and that's good advice because I feel like that's how I am right now. I feel like I'm scared to snap also because I feel like I've just been traumatized by those moments where I've lost 8 cubes because I snapped and I'm like, oh, I'm never gonna do this again. I
Yeah,
just
I
won't ever
know.
snap again.
It's really the most elegant part of the game is that snapping mechanic. You know, it really changes how you look at it and how you look at every single turn. You know, you don't just hit and turn. You can always think, you know, do I snap? If my opponent snaps, do I retreat? It's really I don't know. That's definitely another part that really grips me.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
Turn one snap every game, and then you'll be fine. That's what Ben said, right?
Ben doesn't snap on ego, so
Yeah,
it's
we can't trust Ben. No snapping on ego. I'm sorry. It's unacceptable.
never been so gutted in my life than to read that tweet.
All right, we're gonna go into what have you enjoyed about this season compared to other seasons, or do you find any differences? Do you see different kinds of decks because of what's come out this season?
Oh,
Yeah,
a lot
go
more
ahead.
forecast cards this time.
Yeah. Where did those
Lot
come
more
from?
forecast cards. You kind of remember a lot of them exist that didn't have any viability. I think that was something that cool that Sabu's brought to the table. I definitely think from a balance issue, it's something that needs to be looked at. But being able to see all these forecast cards that really had kind of never gotten the light of day, and seeing them just everywhere now, it makes you think about the game a lot differently.
I think in general from last season as well, it's like 3 and 4 costs are the biggest stars of the show, and you don't realize how many of them are until you run into Zabu slash Surfer decks, and it's just like, oh, that's all you needed. You had 5 cards that you needed, and that was it, and I'm done.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think another thing that I think is really special about this season too, at least coming from like the developer side of things, is also this season in contrast to other seasons is like we really did like a focus like around like a particular artistic theme with bringing in like the Alex Corley art and having that like represented with the season pass and across with our bundles too. And it's been like really cool to kind of like design around as well as kind of see also community sentiment around too. So it also just kind of like makes me like really excited for like our future seasons and also how we also might want to highlight other artists and other styles too.
I think you guys did a wonderful job with that because as like the general Marvel fandom, I don't think looks at something like the Savage Land and really gets excited about what they can see coming from that. But the Alex Horley like artwork in general, just absolutely highlighted cards that like because Kazar and Shauna, like Kazar being one of Marvel's like very first comic books, nobody really knows who he is unless they've like just watched the first season of the X-Men 92 series and like, oh yeah, no, I just watched that, so I actually know who these characters are. Or like they're really like heavy into the comic books. So like it's really cool that you guys brought this new artistic highlight to these cards that like we just learned about 9 months ago for the first time again. So yeah, you guys did a fantastic job with the art direction on that.
Yeah, thank you. And then also I guess kind of just taking a step back too and just like just Snap and to kind of what you were just talking about as well. I think one of the coolest things about Snap is that it kind of allows us to explore like other areas of the Marvel universe that you wouldn't have normally like known if you haven't like grown up with like the X-Men like series when you were like kids or if you haven't like played the MC or haven't like watched the MCU or played other like Marvel games. That Snap really just allows us to just kind of go deep into like other characters and other lore and other like just lands too. So yeah.
Yeah, it's always been cool with playing Marvel Snap and seeing all these new characters. Like now, if I like go back and watch like an earlier MCU thing, I'm like, oh, that's that's the one. I play that card. That my girlfriend always gets so annoyed when we're watching like new movies or any kind of Marvel thing, and I just like say the card's name and ability, and she shakes her head at me. But yeah, it's so interesting. I mean, you don't really realize the depth of like Marvel character, and then you can get into all these other things like the the Inhumans that have been explored, blurred a little bit, and haven't really been touched since that dumpster fire of a CBS show or whatever it was that happened there. So there's all these cool little things that you start to see and start to pick up on that I never would have had the chance for before this game.
Yeah, and I mean, like, I haven't even, like I mentioned, I haven't watched many Marvel movies. Actually, I've only watched one, really. But I really want to now, and I can see the depth that there is. There's so many characters, so I'm excited to, when I get the chance to start watching the movies. But also, I can tell that, Charlene, you and your team work so hard. I don't know how you guys do it, but you come up with all these things every season, and the seasons happen so quickly. I can't believe this season's already going to be ending in about 2 weeks, I think.
Yeah, I
So
know.
that's
It's time flies. Time flies.
yeah, it absolutely does. All right, in the interest of time, I think we are going to have to cut this discussion. Well, actually, TC, I don't know if you've collected any chat messages that you want to share, whether it's a comment or a quick question.
Yeah, sure thing. So there's been a lot of love for the artwork that's in the game for sure. There's a funny comment as well from Tammy Senpai saying, "Well, he plays poker, but he still sucks at snapping." And then we also have a funny thing from Twilight's Falling, and he mentions, "I just want to know if this game was secret created by someone who's very passionate about font choices." And then he goes, "Every single card is like a UX design major's thesis when it comes to the sheer number of fonts used." So I think that's another overlooked aspect of bringing all the the logos that come from the iconic comics and bringing them onto the cards as well.
Yeah, that's really
Yeah, it's definitely an important aspect for sure. Because like you want to make sure you have logos that are like really representative of like the character and like the type of like feeling that you want to get like when you play the character and such too.
Yeah,
You look at
being
this Destroyer, it has like all the spikes and stuff on it and all these little things. They're really nice touches for sure.
I want to say too, being in a community where we will take a trailer for something like D23 and go frame by frame, looking at like the kerning on the text on locations and stuff, and how much you guys have actually cleaned that up over time and like got it to just an absolute beautiful place. Like it is all of the artwork and the art direction and like UI is fantastic. Like there's a lot of room for improvement, obviously. You could say that in any game, but like it has a very set direction and you see that through the whole game. So it's nice to see like the uniformity really develop over time when you get to see like some of those little bits and pieces in like older trailers from what the game used to be and the way that it's developed. So you can see the passion there. It's nice.
Wow, that's something I didn't even like really think much about. I mean, I've definitely noticed the font, but that's really, really cool that so much thought has been put into all of those designs. All right, guys, that concludes our first discussion. We are going to get into another mini game. And this is going to be a shorter one. Let me see. It's called List Assist. We did a similar thing last week, but basically I'm going to give you a category and you guys will name cards that fit in that category. And this one is, we'll just go one by one. So there can be a winner, or you can all win if you name all the cards in that category. But I think that's pretty tough.
Teamwork.
Teamwork makes the dream work, baby.
Okay. So I think we can start with valinthyne this time, since I always start with Binks. So the category is cards that are 1 cost and 2 power. So 1 energy cost and 2 power. Charlene, why do you look like that?
Okay.
Because the cards change like all the time, and I don't. Teamwork, we got
All
this.
right, here comes a leak, guys. You ready? I'm gonna start with Iron Fist.
All right, nice. We'll go to Charlene.
Oh no, Biggs, I'm looking at you. Help me here. Like
You don't
like,
know
I'm
a
thinking of,
single
like,
1 energy 2 power card.
I
I'm
know,
sorry. There's
I
like
know
there's
one
like
cost
12.
cards. I know 1 cost cards, but like,
Which one do you always get hit with on turn 1 that ruins your game plan?
like the squirrels. But that's not one too. Oh my goodness, this is so embarrassing. I don't know. Help.
Yeah, okay, Korg.
All right, we'll
Iceman.
take that. Okay,
Yon,
nice.
you.
Yes, Yandu. Yep.
Nice. Now, Mbaku.
You said Mbaku?
Mbaku.
Mm-hmm.
Nightcrawler.
Mm-hmm. Yep, Nightcrawler.
Cass, I'm so bad.
Okay, that's okay.
Yeah.
We'll go back to Binks.
Misty Knight.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I don't know if I got one.
I feel like Binks still has a bunch in his head right now, and he's
Oh.
like, "Come on, guys."
Yeah, I think so too. Like, I'm just like totally like brain dead right now. I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
Quicksilver.
Nice. Mm-hmm.
Angel.
Oh, good
Nice. That's a good one.
one. My brain won't stop going to hazmat, and I know that's wrong. Uatu.
Nice. Yep. All right, and try not to look in chat.
Yeah, I'm staring directly at my own camera. I'm trying desperately not to look at chat.
Oh, Quinjet.
Mm-hmm. Good job.
I'm trying to think if any of the stones would count, but no.
I have other ones. Like, I have other 1 costs in my head too, but it's not
We got
this.
1, 2. Yeah.
I like can't even see them in my head.
Yeah, I might be tapped out too.
There's 1, 2, 3, 4. There's only 4 more.
Okay.
The fact that there's even 4 more is concerning.
Did we say Iceman?
Yeah.
You guys
Okay.
have Iceman.
Said Korg. 1 cost.
So far, you guys said Angel, Iceman, Iron Fist, Korg, Mbaku, Misty Knight, Nightcrawler, Quicksilver, Quinjet, Uatu, and Yondu.
All right. Sunspot, if you play him on turn 2.
Man.
That does work. That does work.
That's
See, like,
true.
questions like this is like where if I was in Kawa's like Jeopardy episodes, I would be like race to the bottom.
Well, these were always the best in Kawa's because you just are waiting desperately for them to say like a buff or a nerf by accident. It's great.
You guys give up?
I think I'm out.
I'm tapped. I'm
Mhm.
tapping out.
Yeah, let's tap out.
All right, the last 4: Agent 13,
Okay.
Human
Mantis.
Torch, Mantis,
Oh,
and
Mantis.
Rocket Raccoon.
Rocket.
Oh, right. He's a 2 cost in my head for some
Well,
reason.
that and
That's
Human Torch are
wrong.
both 1/4, so when you really think about it.
Yeah,
True.
I guess that's true. All right, nicely done, guys. I mean, you got most of them. It's hard to get all of them. It's really difficult to. I feel like it's difficult to think of them in your head, like conjure
Well-
them up. You know.
Well,
There's
last
only
week you did the
100.
letter M, and what there was 13 left or something
There was
by
a
by the
lot.
end. It was
That was-
ridiculous, and I
that was
I couldn't think of any. It was
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah. All right. Cool. Let's get into a little more discussion now. I actually wanted to play a couple of clips here, so let me pull this up. If you guys want to watch either from the stream or from my Discord, which I'm gonna share with you guys here, either way works. It'll just be delayed on my stream. So this first clip is Valentine's clip. Let me pull this up on the other screen. Sorry, guys. Should be this. All right, here we go.
Oh no! Wait. The other cable's out. Oh wait, Wolverine. Enough said, bub. Oh, dude, this has been an emotional roller coaster of a game.
My gosh, the Arnhem Galactus play.
I loved Altar of Death so much. I miss it. This is why I love this game. This
Oh, I
is
feel like
why
you're about to love the
absolutely
game.
love this game.
A little less.
Oh no, the Wolverine! I forgot about the Wolverine! The only time I felt like Galactus actually got nerfed.
That's so
That's
amazing.
so good.
Galactus diff.
All right, and then I'm gonna show this other one as well, and this is Binks.
Chat, oh no! Chat, all of their cards have +8 power! Oh my gosh. Chat, their cards are so big. Oh no, look how big these Widow's Bites are. Just kidding. In your face. Oh! Chat, oh
It's
no!
so good. You look so smug.
So this is funny. The interesting thing, there's actually a bug in the game, and you can't see it in this clip, but I knew that both of those were Widow's Bites. Because if you create a card, you can, if you click them when they're in Dark Dimension, you can see what they are. So if like it's your rock that you created from Korg, or if it's a Widow's Bite that you created through your thing, and then you click it, it looks like you're cheating because you can see what the Widow's Bites are. So I actually knew that those were Widow's Bites, so I knew I was gonna win.
Oh, interesting. Huh. But anyway, I love both of these clips, and I mean they're both Galactus clips, right? But I feel like they're very, very different games. And you know, for Valentine, for you, it was just complete chaos, right?
Oh, the whole thing, yeah.
And then for Binks, it felt like you knew already what was going to happen. And I think like both of these styles of play, you can get so much enjoyment out of. But I was wondering for you guys, do you like the chaos where you don't really know what's gonna happen? Or would you prefer games where like you kind of know and you feel good about that? I mean, I think both the games are great. So I'm curious about what you guys prefer when you're playing. Anyone can.
I absolutely want the games to be as chaotic and hectic as possible. Like I said, like Altar of Death was my absolute favorite location because by the time turn 3 rolls around, you and your opponent can be playing your 6 cost, and like it's just who knows where things are gonna go. Like there's just between like Galactus getting introduced to the game and you know you and your opponent fighting for a single lane when you've mapped out your entire strategy for 6 whole turns, and then it's turn 3 or turn 4 and you have 1 lane and 7 cards and you can't even draw anymore, and you're terrified about what's in their hand versus your hand. Like I love chaos. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. And how about you, Binks?
I mean, I like chaotic things. I play a different deck every single day that I stream, and that's something that I think that I do. Just because you know a lot of my content is built out on YouTube, and you know it's nice to be able to highlight different decks every single day. But B, I think that it just keeps me interested in the game, trying to over the course of a stream learn a deck, kind of figure out these lines, make some minor adjustments to it, and figure out what's going on. I always love to try and call out what my opponent's going to play. So all the time, I'm trying to like figure out, okay, what based on what they're doing, am I think is going to play, and how can I just absolutely soul crush them with a counter? And I think that people who watch me exclusively on YouTube think I'm much better at the game than I am because they don't get to see all the catastrophic fails. They mostly see the huge wins and the huge ridiculous callouts, just like that Galactus one that you saw there. I think that it's a little bit more kind of in between and a bit more of a mix. So I think that there's a reason why I really like the style of like the Guardians of the Galaxy, where like you get rewarded for calling out what your opponent's going to do and thinking ahead and trying to anticipate what your opponent's going to do. It just gives you that like endorphin rush that I'm so addicted to with playing these games. So I definitely like to feel smarter than I am by getting one of those like just ice cold call outs to your opponent and just like having them play the best thing. There was one that I did recently where someone Galactus to me. All I had in my hand was like a rogue and a storm to play. And I was like, maybe they'll play null, you know. And then you play out the rogue. They play 70 power null, and then rogue just snatches it out of their hands. They think there's no way they're gonna lose, and then you know you're like, bang.
That feels so good.
Mm-hmm.
And how about you, Charlene? What kind of games do you enjoy? Do you like the chaos, or you like to know what's gonna happen?
I generally steer away from chaos, actually. I'm very, very different. Where it's like I like kind of going back to like knowing when to like snap and when to retreat. I I'm the kind of player who likes to like play a game out through like once I like know like what my win condition is, like through the cards in my hand and what like I anticipate is going to be like my turn like 4, 5, 6 plays and what I anticipate like their other plays are going to be. But to like what Binks was talking about too, like I remember when I was also first picking up Snap as well, like um like also especially as like joining second dinner and also like learning all the cards in the games too, like I just went all in with making all sorts of like crazy decks just to kind of understand like what are the different deck archetypes are, like what are like where the power is, where like and like what are like different things I could try out as well. And I think as a player that's also helped me too with also being able to like read and understand like plays. So yeah, so definitely like I steer like less away from or I steer away from the chaotic kind of play, although that is fun too.
Mm-hmm. No, I think both styles is really fun because you know there's times where, as Binks mentioned, you already know what your opponent's gonna play, and when you can play a card that completely just counters that, like it feels so good. And then also but I also love, like, I think one of my favorite things in this game is like RNG. So I feel like my style is maybe closer to Valentine's, where like I love like the agents drawing random cards, and I love Quake. I think that's like my favorite card right now, honestly.
Super underrated, especially with Rickety Bridge.
Yeah, one of those feature location superstars where you're just like, okay, you had that in your deck. Cool.
And let me recommend, take any deck you have, take out your 6-drop and put a Heimdall in and just watch chaos ensue, and your opponent have no idea what the heck you were going to do. Sneaky Heimdall can always win.
That's what I've
Shout out
done
to the Fell
since
special.
like, yeah, that's what I've done since like day one. When I first started playing the game, I was like, I just want to make my own deck, and I was like, you know what? I love Heimdall because and in a non-move deck, because it's so random and nobody expects it. And I mean, in this game, I feel like unpredictability, I mean, in your hands can go a long way. And I was also wondering about you mentioned snapping at the right times. Do you guys ever play decks where, or I guess, do you ever play games where at the very beginning you just decide to snap? Or, I mean, are there reasons why you might do that? Or is it like you draw certain cards in a deck where you might snap then? Or do you tend to wait until snapping later on?
I think it depends. If I'm playing a deck with like 2 key cards, I have both those key cards in my starting hand. I think that a lot of times just snapping right off the bat is great. People very rarely retreat from a turn 1 snap unless something happens with like a Sakar where they discard their main piece, or you pull an Infinite out of your hand, right? But with something like that. But so I definitely think that snapping on turn 1 is underrated and underutilized by a lot of people. Where if you have a deck where you get your 2 best cards in your starting hand, I think that 9 times out of 10, the correct play is to snap then and there. The opponent retreats, that's fine. Free cube, boom, on to the next one. If they don't retreat, then you've doubled the stakes in a game where you're in the driver's seat, and that's always good for you.
Yeah, and to play off that a little bit, I think if you're not snapping on turn 1, you're almost giving too much of a tell if you're snapping on a reveal for a location. If I don't snap turn 1 and I'm actually attempting to snap properly, because I lose that mindset in Infinite, it's turn 4 or no snap. Because on turn 4, there's very little to read past your cards. That's it. And you can throw a left hand and then a right hook, and your opponent might not know what's coming based on 2 cards that you've put out since like the start of the game. So I think it's 1 or 4, and that's it for me. I also turn 6 snap way too often and immediately get a retreat and lose the cube that I could have got if I had just held out and not snapped. So
Yeah, I'm totally the same way too. It's like if at turn 1, if I have the pieces towards my win condition in my hand, like even if it's not like complete, like I'll snap already because I know that I do have a chance to try and play it out. And even then, like even if I don't get my win condition, but if I did snap turn 1, I can still continue to act like I am playing that particular deck. And then sometimes they will retreat like towards the end and such. So yeah.
I will say one thing that people don't do enough that I think is a really good strategy is learning how to bluff snap. So if you don't have the card that you need, it's turn 6, and your opponent completely expects you to have this card they have no way of beating. Sometimes it is okay to snap on that turn 6, not because you're certain you're going to win, but because you think you might lose. But being able to push them out of that game is actually worth it. It's a very high risk. You have to, I guess, kind of base it across your like peer group of who you're playing, because some people are a bit more adept to it. But getting those bluff snaps are something that I think it feels better than like getting someone to retreat when you don't have the cards that you need. Feels better than having the cards that you need and playing it out and winning, in my opinion.
It's a good point. For me, I think I'm sometimes kind of stubborn, and even when the opponent snaps, I'm like, they can't beat me. I think I still might be able to win. So I end up playing it out and completely, get destroyed. But, there are times where I can't, when I do win those games. So in my mind, I'm like, maybe it'll be one of those times where I win. But then I think it doesn't help me because I end up losing more of those games.
People tend to like overthink their opponent's play. Sometimes it's like the simplest thing is about to drop. Exactly what you would think if you just were shown the board outside of the game and you go, yeah, that person's probably going to drop that card. That's usually what that person's going to drop. And if you can beat it, you snap. If you can't, you should just retreat. And it's so hard to get in that proper mind state. Because we're all very stubborn. I'm right there with you. I'm a very stubborn snap player.
Yeah. Honestly, my favorite thing ever is when everyone in the chat says, no, retreat. I'm like, no, I'm going for it. And then I end up winning. I'm like, hot in your face,
It's a good feeling.
Nothing wants me to play out more than a bunch of people saying there's no way you win. I just go, really? Think that? You think that? Think there's no way?
You say there's no way to win, and then somebody redeems all snap in your chat, and you're screwed. You have to stay in now.
I do feel like people who don't stream the game like don't understand like what you get out of chat sometimes, because there's some huge advantages you get out of playing with chat, because you know, if you do something really stupid, sometimes they yell at you and then you're like, oh, I can adjust doing that thing. Sometimes if you miss what you discard, you can ask them, but also you get some horrendous advice
Yes.
from chat that you have to filter through, or like literally every single turn. Like 80% of turns, I have someone in chat telling me to snap, or someone in chat telling me to retreat. So it's just like you kind of have to like it's a blessing and a curse sometimes.
Yeah. Or like in the way that we couldn't remember those one cost cards earlier. Like you go to play a card and they're just like, why are you doing that? They very clearly are going to play like Hobgoblin on you right now, and you're not gonna be able to play Galactus. It's like, oh, oh my god, this is Cerebro 2 and it has Hobgoblin. Oh, you guys are so right. And I already hit end turn. Oh well, all right, we're done.
Actually, I was wondering what you guys find is most challenging about, I guess, content creation, or I guess, streaming on Twitch/YouTube. Is like the chat interaction. Is there anything that it feels kind of difficult to deal with the chat, or are there any types of like, I don't know, if you want to share, if you're comfortable sharing anything like that? Or maybe it doesn't have to do with chat.
Oh, you okay? I think community management is something that I was terrified of. You know, I streamed for 2 years to 3 people for playing a variety of different games, right? And now things have really changed with how many people that watch me, and just the community aspect side of things is sometimes really challenging and sometimes pretty hard on my mental health. And I think that a lot of content creators go through this, where you know, it's really tough if, you know, sometimes like mentally maybe you're having a bad day, you're in front of the camera, chat's like annoying you. Sometimes some sides of you come out that you don't like necessarily like being out there. Sometimes it could just be like a real struggle dealing with people in the community. Now, unfortunately, Phil, I mean, you seem to have a incredible mod team based on what I've seen being in your chats, and obviously like the productions you put in. I literally don't have any mods, which is something that I definitely need to work on changing. So I kind of have to do everything myself, and there's a couple of friends who will help me a little bit here and there, but really it's kind of like all on me. And that side of thing has definitely been the hardest thing, is just kind of dealing with that mentality, and dealing with how some people are literally going to chats just to try and make you have a bad day, or just to try and get attention, and you have to be understanding of that. And I think having like radical empathy towards it is where I'm like best at, of like kind of understanding where people come from, and also like kind of making people like face themselves. Like, you know, I'll be confrontational sometimes with chat when I think that I need to, but sometimes I'll just ignore people, or you know, just hide them if I need to. I very rarely have to ban people, which I think is just a great thing. I think that the Marvel Snap community, when I look at any other chats and any other like game, the Marvel Snap community is so much better from what I've seen. And I think that the community that I've fostered is in general really positive and really good, which makes it a lot easier. But there's still those days that it's tough, and it's just it's a learning thing, right? Because like a lot of the people in Marvel Snap didn't come from other games. A lot of us are kind of brand new to streaming and brand new to being in the spotlight of having all these people watching us. So a lot of us are just learning every single day and trying to understand. And there's a good community between the content creators that you can feel too. But it's just kind of taking every single day as you can, and trying to learn those ways to handle a community. I think is the thing that's the most challenging, but it's also really rewarding when you see like good things and you see positive momentum with the community too.
Mm-hmm. Oh, absolutely.
Could not agree with all of that more. Like I thankfully have a few other streamers and a few friends who have made through this game that mod for me. But like very similarly, I don't feel like there's a lot of bad actors in the Snap community. There's obviously a few here and there. They do pop up. And you're gonna get just drive-bys from time to time. But the hardest thing is like those days where somebody says the one thing that creates like a negativity echo chamber in your chat, and it'll just kind of persist throughout the day. Like, you know, series dropping when, and then for the next 4 hours, there's a like kind of negative discussion going on amongst your community members about the game that you love and you want to share with them and enjoy with them. And it takes the fun out of it a little bit, and it does make it a little harder. And in general, I'm now coming to terms, like I kind of mentioned before, like just general burnout by playing the same game over and over. And like I don't want to take the burnout that I might feel because I'm playing 70 hours of this game a week, which is like my own thing that I need to take hold of, and bring it against the game and brandish a sword on the game because of it. So like for myself, I took streaming off today. Normally I would have streamed for like 6 hours before doing this. And it was just kind of like, you know what? I think I need a day off. I need to just like take a mental health day, which, you know, cannot be stated enough, how much that is needed in content creation. The ability to take time for yourself and make sure that you have a whole heart and a whole head, and like, you know that you are the best you can be for your community. So like if you're ever watching a streamer and they need to take a day off, tell them have a good day. Don't go, oh, I'm bummed I'm not going to get to watch you. But just tell them to have a good day and enjoy their time off, because trust me, to do that, they really need it. So like that's the number one thing I think, is just dealing with mental health over anything else is the hardest part of streaming.
Yeah, I think that's super super important. I guess on my end, I'll answer like a twist on that question a bit. On like what are the challenges for me is for me being in the game development side of things. And I think for me it's been this industry switch that I've had from working at Second Dinner. Previously I was actually working in aerospace, and that's been like the field I've been working in for like pretty much like like all my professional career. But I kind of got into a point where I really wanted to go into games because it's been something that I've been a part of in terms of communities and games I've played in the past. It's been something that's been really important to me, and understanding what my strengths are in aerospace and as a systems engineer there, and understanding what that mapping is to the games industry, understanding what responsibilities there are, and figuring out like kind of where where I would or could belong was really difficult, just kind of in terms of like my own journey to Second Dinner. Um, but yeah, I've been doing systems engineering specifically. So looking at different like engineering, like looking at different engineering aspects and how they interconnect together. And that in itself kind of led me to product management, because it's looking at game systems design, looking at um, uh, players, like player behavior, and looking at data, and also like bring all those things together to make something super awesome. Um, was one of the things I was just trying to figure out. Yeah, like effectively, what's my path if I went into the games industry? So, um, yeah, like when I interviewed to Second Dinner and I learned more about the responsibilities and the role and the team, like it was amazing. and and yeah, it's been a decision that I am so glad that I've been able to kind of move forward with. But yeah.
I think it's really inspiring hearing your story, because it sounds like, I mean, you were in aerospace for a really long time, and that's like, I'm sure you've prepared throughout, college for that job, and to be able to switch careers like that and switch over to the gaming industry. It's not easy to make that type of decision. It's not easy at all, and I think that's really awesome that you did that. And I think it's really cool that you decided to do something you're really, really passionate about. So that's really cool.
But Felicity, would you mind if we turn this question back over to you? As you know, this is something that
Yeah.
definitely pertains to you a lot. I would love to hear your side of things. I know you were doing things a lot differently, and you were a lot more on like kind of like the creative side of Twitch from some other things that I've seen of you. So switching over to being more focused a lot on Snap, I would love to hear your perspective on how you feel about the community and things like that.
Oh, sure. I love the Marvel Snap community. I feel like, I mean, I've been streaming for such a long time. I think I started in like 2012, something like that. It's been like 10 years. So since then, I've played pretty much like every single game you can think of. I've dabbled in so many different areas, and there were several focus areas that I've had. I started out StarCraft 2. I was obsessed with that game. I think I probably played that the longest. And then I've done a lot of music as well. But the past year before Marvel Snap, I have been really lost, and I just kind of, every stream was kind of different, and I kind of played whatever. But then I discovered Marvel Snap, and ever since the first stream that I did when I tried out the game, the community was already just so helpful, and everyone is so willing to just share their knowledge of the game and really genuinely help you out. And all the messages that I saw in the chat were just so supportive and encouraging that it put me in a really, it was just a great space for me. And I felt like it was so positive, and it made me feel good about myself and about the game as well. And I mean, all the things that you guys mentioned earlier about what drew you to the game, same thing, you know, the short games, the strategy of it. I've always loved strategy games. So this was just down my alley. It was perfect. And ever since then, the community, at least my community, has grown, and everyone's just been really, really cool and just really supportive and encouraging, and I couldn't ask for a better community. So did that answer the question? That's what you asked about, right?
Yeah. And if anyone hasn't seen
Super
her
awesome.
cover of Hero, the music video that came out from Marvel Snap and Martin Garrix, I just posted a link in chat. It is unbelievable. She has an amazing voice.
Oh, thanks so much. And
Oh, I gotta check it out.
TC's in that video. He's the one playing guitar. So
It's amazing.
thank you. All right. So I think that pretty much, well, in the interest of time, I think we're a little over time now. We are going to end our discussion here, and we're going to get on to rating the viewer submitted screenshots. There's kind of a lot, so I'm going to try to go through them kind of quickly. I will share my screen again. Have I been sharing this whole time? My bad. Oh, wait, actually, let me think about this. Oh, it's okay for you guys to see this. Okay. I was gonna say, okay, for the other game you weren't supposed to see, but this should be fine. Let me, switch over to this. All right, so the first one we have is from Lithium 24. I don't know if you guys can see this okay though. It might be kind of small.
I don't
Are you
think I
sharing it
see
in the?
it.
You're not sharing it in the Discord.
Oh, I'm not?
No, I just see the Twitch page still.
Oh shoot, my bad. Okay, sorry. Let me share the correct thing. It should be this one. Okay, are you able to see it now?
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know if you're able to see it very well though.
I think it's just enough and understand.
Those are big numbers.
So as we go through this, I think there's like 20 of them. Just remember the number or the username for which one you like the best.
Man, I wonder if that Odin had triggered last, if they would have hit the cap. I think they probably would have if that Odin had been the fourth or the third one to move instead of the Black Panther. That is insane though.
There's a cap?
Yeah, there's an integer cap. It's like 2 billion.
Oh my god.
147 million or so. It's really hard to hit now that they made the onslaught change.
Oh.
But there is a cap. It's a very common cap. It's like the 32-bit integer something.
Yeah, it's a
is what it's-
32-bit. It's the max value of a 32-bit integer.
Mhm.
Oh my god. That's insane.
Yeah, when Bar Sinister came out, Binks had a a hell of a video showing that off, honestly.
Mhm.
Oh man, I need to see that.
It's so funny.
All right, so that one's from Lithium 24. This next one is from XX Nick Rival XX.
Yeah, I always get so scared of playing Scorpion when I see Bar with no name. I had this happen to me
love-
with the Mysterio, and it traumatized me.
It always ends up being Arnim Zola for me. I love when Scorpion pops out.
For a second, I had to see if this was my game, that I was the opposite person, because that exact same thing happened to me when I played Scorpion. All right, next one is from Tammy Senpai.
Oh my gosh.
Exodia, obliterate.
Oh my god.
So they obliterated it, and then they played the hazmat as a joke too.
I have
Gotta
never
respect
seen
that.
an endgame screen like that.
Opponent one was zero cards. That should be an achievement.
He said he made a small misplay in the chat. All right, next one is from Hikiko Mori.
I mean, anyone who can pull out a win after getting leeched, I have respect for.
That's
Yeah.
true. Very true.
Ooh, snuck it out. Very nice.
All right, 5D7 fish. This one is a little hard to see. I think they said that.
Oh, it's the Goose on Crimson Cosmos.
Yeah,
No cards allowed.
Yeah, no.
Yep, the goose play. All right, this one from Akira Howard.
I
Like,
love me a good
crazy.
Super Scroll
Oh,
game.
Yeah,
God.
the Super Scroll.
On Onslaught, 2 Darkhawks. That's terrifying.
You know,
Three
it's,
Darkhawks.
one person was asking on Twitter, should I get Super Scroll? Like, is this a good card? And my answer is, as a card, no, it's bad. To farm cliffs, it is the best card in the game. It is so fun to get ridiculous Super Scroll value, especially against like negative decks. They put like multiple Iron Man and like a Dark Hawk and a Blue Marvel, and then you're just like, oh, my card does all of those.
It's the one card that makes me wish more people had null, honestly.
Oh yeah, oh that's great.
All right, next one is from Kaio76.
21 power Green Goblin isn't real.
Yeah, it's that Green Goblin.
Oh
Fantastic.
man.
That's awesome. All right, and then from Foundation Pineapple. Oh, wow. There's just no cards on the other side.
Opponent only played 4 cards, huh? Gotta play more cards than that against that combo.
All right.
Adam Warlock, Ebony Maw. What an interesting combo. I
Yeah,
haven't seen that very often. That's
You're
I was just
desperate to
thinking
draw your
that
combo.
too.
draw all your cards.
All right, this one's from Not a Robot 009.
Lots of Arnim Zola shenanigans.
Mm.
Holy. Oh, was it a leader? They didn't even play
Yeah.
Arnim Zola. They just leadered it.
Oh.
Jeez.
Oh,
my
yeah, leader on a wall.
gosh.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep. All right, this one from The Real Gangsta.
I'm a big fan of this. I don't have any cards. I don't want to play.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah. All right, number 11 from Golden Gust. This one. Wait, some people added some.
Very
No,
nice.
I don't have anything here.
I keep hoping that when I see Mbaku that he came out of
Yeah,
one.
that's was my
I-
immediate.
I keep getting excited.
Yeah. All right, this one from Mad Coimbra.
I love big negative numbers.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Right, then we have this one from Triple Hose. Big numbers.
Big numbers. Yeah, when 36 isn't close to enough.
3 Hulks can't get it done.
Yeah. Right, we got the Element of One.
Where did that? How did that Professor X get over there? Did they just play that on turn 6?
Some people.
And an
Oh,
8
he's
cuber?
Oh, he was saying he hates goblin users. All the
Yeah, send him over.
yeah. And then a brown paladin. Oh yeah, he submitted this because
52
of the
power
rocket
rocket.
raccoon.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
Absolutely popping off.
I've never seen that before.
So many guns, so many guns. Dude, Rocket Raccoon is a great animation with like the 50 guns that just get shot up in the air.
Yeah.
Yeah, he does.
Mhm. This one's from Wimplo.
Oof. Oh, that's so satisfying. They Odin, the Hobgoblin, and the Green Goblin on turn 6 to
Yeah,
win.
the
Oh, that's
Galactus.
so
Oh.
satisfying.
I think, yeah,
Oh,
that's
dude, hitting both is just there's no endorphin rush in the game than hitting a Hobgoblin and a Green Goblin with an Odin in the same turn. Nothing comes close.
and to block a Galactus too. That's
Oh, it's just
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
chef's kiss.
It's pretty good. This is from RNG Had. Oh, the Professor X.
Nice, nice.
Right, from Chrono's side. Oh, I think they had said that they did a
I think it's a Null on the other side that just got zapped by the danger room.
opponent had played Galactus and it died. And then they played a 15 power dino to win it, but it also died.
oh
Oh.
Danger Room is one of those content locations. Like some people hate on Danger Room, but I kind of like that it's like a calculated risk and it tells you like the exact percentage.
25%
And sometimes
of
it's
the time, 100% of the time.
yeah, sometimes it's just crushing. But I do think it's like a fun card to or a fun location to play around personally. I still think
Yeah.
it's really solid.
Mm-hmm. And this is from Sorry Cutie. Oh, I think they said
Dude,
that
nuts.
what
Did they
could've
Doc Ock the
sworn
Wonk
I
Doctor Doom?
copied this in here, but I think they had played the Doctor Doom like the turn before, and they didn't play their last turn, and they still won. I think that's what they.
They have that amazing She-Hulk variant too.
Mhm.
Good.
Yeah. Alright, this is from Nee Kongmer. Sorry, I can't
Yo, is that a
remember.
turn 6 Professor X lockdown to stop the?
It was a Quake. They had different it used to be Kiln, Death's Domain, and then Clintar. And then the left lane locks down on turn 4, and they lock down right.
Nice.
Yeah. Alright. Oh, and that's it. So did you guys have any favorite ones?
I gotta love the Odin against the double
Yeah.
goblin on
Was
the
that
Galactus.
Wimplo?
That's just
Which
Oh.
one?
Wimplo
The-
number 16. I think I'm
Wimplos?
with Binks on that one.
Yeah.
Odining a double goblin. There's nothing that feels better than that. And yeah,
Yeah.
and the Galactus stop on top. That's just beautiful.
And
Well
how about
done.
you,
Yeah, I
Charlene?
agree
Did you
too.
have that one as well? Yeah.
Yeah. And then there's also that other one too, where like they won with just 0 cost on their side.
Minor
Well, it would-
miscalculation.
Yeah.
Oh, this one?
That
Yeah.
one.
That's good too.
Tammy's. Yeah, that's pretty funny too. All right. Well, that concludes our last segment, which was rating the viewer submitted screenshots. Thank you guys in the chat for sending in your screenshots for us to look at. Let me switch back over to this one here. Big thank you to Binks, Valentine, and Charlene. Thank you guys so much for being on the podcast and sharing your insights and sharing your stories and opinions. I really appreciate it, and it was a lot of fun playing the games as well. If you guys would like to follow them, their links are in the chat. Charlene, I don't know if you have a Twitch handle or not.
I don't have a Twitch handle, but I do have a Twitter. Even if it's
yeah,
like, even if I just post very occasionally in.
Yeah.
But I
if
can
you
send
got-
that to you like offline.
Okay. I mean, you can post it in here too. Yeah, feel free to post it in there. And you guys as well, well, I guess you did. And then Valentine, if you have any other socials or anything you would like to post in there, please feel free to. Guys in the chat, make sure you go and follow them. They're wonderful content creators. And Charlene is just all around awesome as well. I had a chance to play Pictionary with her, and she was really freaking good.
It wasn't Jeopardy. It was Pictionary.
yeah, Pictionary. All right. That pretty much concludes our show. So thank
One
you.
other thing, by the way.
Oh yeah,
I just
sorry.
wanted to make one correction. Valentine actually tied with Charlene on the left or right game. Yes. I went back and did a VOD
I
review.
concede.
Frame
Oh.
count, frame count.
It was 8 and 8. And also, I did create 2 extra that are quite challenging if you wanted to run them, but I understand in the interest of time, but it's totally fine.
You guys want to try?
You can stay at tie.
Let's do it.
Sure.
Why not?
Okay.
Just you
Oh,
are
don't go
sharing.
unshare.
Just
Sorry,
sharing.
sorry. Wait, did you see it already?
I didn't see.
When I looked away.
Crap, I keep forgetting I'm sharing that. Okay, let me go back to... Okay, I should be on the correct thing now. Okay, Namor is holding his trident on the left or right side of the card. You guys can just shout it out.
Right?
Right.
So Charlene said right, Binks said right, Valentine said left.
Correct.
The correct answer is left. Nice.
Nice.
All right, and
Good
one
job.
last one.
That does make Valentine the leader currently, so yes. We'll see if it ends in a tying.
Okay.
Unless you want to end it there,
You've
we
made
can go
two.
to 14.
Okay. Since you took the time to make these, Venom's tongue first leaves from his mouth on the left or right side of the card.
Oh man.
That's such a
50-50. Let's go left.
I'll go right. That way we don't end in a tie.
I'll go left.
Oh wait, no, we still could. Never mind.
It's the only way you can still end in a tie, actually.
All right. The answer is left.
I don't remember what I said.
Right.
And we're back to
I
a
think we're
tie.
back
It's
to a
okay.
tie.
That's
Yay.
it.
Perfect. Just as God intended.
All right, perfect. All right, guys, thanks so much for playing the mini games with us and taking part in the discussion as well. I really appreciate you guys and your time. Make sure you guys in the chat, please go and follow them. Once again, we'll get their links in the chat. Thanks, Arctic. And that concludes our second episode of the Weekly Snap Show. All right, if you guys want to wave to the camera. Thanks, guys.
Thanks
Have
for
a
having
good
us. Thanks so much,
night.
Val.
Thank you.